cooking show since right around, if not sooner, 2012, 2013, 2014. And we're going to dive into exactly why I think that there's plenty of evidence online. Everything I'm sharing has been found in the public domain, and the views shared here are my own, or again, found in the public domain, and they are protected by free speech. So with that being said, let's get into it. This is about Meghan's new show on Netflix, With Love, Meghan. New show, same old Meghan. So there's so much going around about her video, this trailer that is also on her Instagram account. Everybody's making a huge deal about her Instagram account, how she's finally back on Instagram. Well, that's not true, is it? Because we learned back in 2023 that an account called @Meghan, MEGHAN, was on Instagram and it had been opened since June 2022 or July 2022, which, if you remember, was right around the time she did the interview with The Cut magazine, where she told the journalist, guess what? I'm getting back on Instagram. So she's been on it for a while, much like Neil Sean has said, much like the blind gossip has said that she's been online lurking. It's just she finally posted and also made sure to include her name as Meghan, Duchess of Sussex. So as of this recording, she had 1.3 million followers. She did share a video starting off the new year, which was, let's just say, not as elevated as she was hoping it would be. But what's really interesting here, she only has 1.3 million followers. It's a far cry from the Sussex Royal of 9 million followers. And considering that she is associated with Netflix, with them having 35.3 million followers, and they did share that video about her great mainstream cooking show, they're not all flocking over to her account. Now, a lot of the people online, especially on Twitter X, Royally Sage, I want to say Meghan's Mole, The Royal Grift, and I'm forgetting your name, please forgive me, but a lot of people are attributing these followers and the lack of likes on these videos to followers to the fact that she may have allegedly purchased bots to follow her. And at the time of this recording, she had 69,000 downvotes on this trailer and only 9.3 thousand. So if she's got 1 million people following and rooting her on, why is nobody clicking the like button? Now, one of the things she mentions in the trailer is saying, I've always loved taking something pretty ordinary and elevating it. Well, considering that here she was, beautiful, but pretty ordinary, flying under the radar, how did she elevate it? Well, some people will say social climbing, right? She definitely got elevated. People knew her name after this. They may not have noticed her or really taken an interest in the way she was hoping, as Tom Bauer covered in his book Revenge, but she definitely got noticed, and it's probably one of the only reasons she got this deal with Netflix to begin with. So Tom Bauer in his book Revenge went into great detail how Meghan had finally made it on Suits. It was something she'd always wanted. She always wanted to be a star. She wanted her lifestyle brand. She wanted everything, but she knew her time on Suits was waning. So she, along with her manager, Gina Nelthorpe Crown, had decided to, Meghan was going to try to have a high-profile relationship with, I think it was either a wealthy British man. She told this to Lizzie Cundy as well, or a famous British man. And the plan was to connect with them and to return to Hollywood as an A-lister. Now, what I've noticed throughout all of Meghan's endeavors, where she was trying to become a lifestyle guru, being on the TIG, or hoping to get a show where I believe back in the day when she was on Suits, she had pitched it to like the Food Network and a couple other people, where she was hoping to have kind of like a Rachel Ray thing, where she would travel the world, maybe like Anthony Bourdain, where she traveled the world and learn how to cook, do recipes, things like that. So it'd be a paid gig. It would be part of this whole lifestyle thing. And if you've paid attention to Meghan or even gone back through the archives, you'll notice she has done this for quite a while. So to me, in my opinion, this is what she's always wanted. She wanted this show on Netflix. She wanted, whether she was a foodie, loved to cook or not, and loved to cook remains to be seen. We will talk more about that later. Just like she allegedly made that comment that she couldn't believe she wasn't being paid for the Australian tour, I believe she's always wanted to be paid to be a student, to learn. Just as she complained to Oprah that she had to Google the lyrics to the British national anthem This girl doesn't like to work. And I'm going off of what a lot of people have said. This is my opinion, allegedly. Spotify said that her and Harry were lazy grifters. And considering what we've seen in that trailer and how little effort or lack of finesse or just something that va-va-voom, that je ne sais quoi, about what makes somebody so interesting and you're not able to put your finger on it, she's still missing it. It is still the same. Meghan showing off her friends, Meghan learning, Meghan sharing something she may have known, even though it doesn't come off as an expert or super wow factor. This is the same thing we've seen from Meghan time and time again, because she did this when she had a paid gig. I believe it was Elle magazine. Correct me if I'm wrong. Comment below. Where they gave her money to discover her roots in Malta. Remember that? It was this huge thing. Now, my personal opinion, she chose Malta because, she was trying to get connected in those circles. This was about how she had connection to the royal family. Anyone who's anyone, or just a basic historian, someone Google it now, you'll see that it's out there that Queen Elizabeth II and Prince Philip had a beautiful time, a very, very important to their relationship and their marriage time in Malta. It was very close to their heart. And even Catherine, Princess of Wales, and Prince William were supposed to go to Malta as one of their first things. Unfortunately, at that time, Princess Catherine was sick. She was having a horrible time of morning sickness when she was pregnant with Prince George. This is all available in the public domain. So what have we seen in the past couple of years? In 2022 in archetypes. See what I'm throwing down here? Meghan proudly calls Nigeria my country. Well, no, she said that this year, forgive me, but she did come out that I am 43% Nigerian. So by saying that in archetypes, true or not, she got a paid trip to Nigeria this year. Do we see the pattern that I'm trying to point out with everything Meghan Markle? Yes, Ted, we're all wondering why you gave them $100 million deal, because we've seen people on TikTok and Instagram of all backgrounds, of all skin color, who have far more talent than this. But I am here to say, if you notice this, call me, because I'm pretty good at my research. And as you can see by my amazing mint fascinator, I'm elevated in all that I do. Here to help. I'll say behind the scenes, your secrets are safe with me, Ted. So, mint. Simply meant to be. This was from back anywhere between 2012 through 2016, where Meghan was going around guest starring on other people, everyday people trying to have their own lifestyle blog in a video, Lunch with Meghan Markle. And as we can see here, it was a pretty basic recipe. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. I do believe it was Tom Bauer who mentioned in Revenge something about the reporter who did the Vanity Fair article with Meghan, how even though she had put out a bunch of food on this table, this tray where they were sitting on the sofa, the journalists noticed these were ready-made food, things that you pick up from your local grocery store where it's already over there in the deli. She didn't make this food herself. It was already there. She was just really good at playing hostess and putting together things that were already made. And as you can see here, they were putting together a smoothie, because we know that is just so daunting. Same thing with the daunting toast, where she elevated it by adding no greenery here, but she did use her supposed apple butter recipe, even though there's all these strawberries in the back. She added some ricotta cheese and she added some slivered almonds. But what I want you to notice here is this kitchen. We've got a white farmhouse sink in the background. We have white cabinets, and we have that gas stove. Obviously, she set up multiple shots this day when she had this set to use, but it remarkably looks a lot like this new set that she's using in Netflix. And spoiler alert, in case you haven't seen it plastered everywhere for almost a year, this is not her Montecito mansion. This is not anything. If you looked at that American Riviera Orchard shared Instagram little reel that she had, this is not her home. They made a big deal sharing PR about how they rented this $8 million estate that's owned by philanthropists for her to shoot this in. So while she's out there in the Netflix trailer trying to say this is about authenticity, this is about connections, this is about friendship, Meghan, you normally rent out an $8 million home to cook in? That's how you make connections? That's how you share things with friends? You rent out homes? No, that's right. You like it when companies and investors and producers do that for you, because then you get to show it off. Because notice where the stove is, notice the white cabinets, and notice the white farmhouse sink. So literally no one in the entire world. And here comes Meghan Markle. Oh, I could put together floral arrangements. Let me show you how to do that, because that's what she's known for. Yes and no. She has advertised so much back when she did have her previous Instagram account, how she loved flowers. Now, she wasn't known back then for putting together floral arrangements. Definitely was not known as a Martha Stewart, even though she constantly drip fed, or her team allegedly drip fed, she could be the next Martha Stewart. She could be the next Gwyneth Paltrow. It was always what she's going to do, what she could be, yet she never showed up. So look, starting to feel like spring. Obviously, she loves peonies. Look, more pictures of her, with her shoulders showing and loving the flowers. Here she is, even collecting roses from her manicure garden in her previous Netflix special, Harry and Meghan, but we all know this is no longer on her estate. So here she is in the Netflix trailer saying, I'm going to share some little tips and tricks. Okay, I don't know about you, but when I saw this part, I was going, oh my God, she's going to share tips and tricks. She's finally going to tell us how she gets those pap shots set up, about her buying flowers when literally there is no security entourage all around her. She's in a farmer's market in the uber elusive Montecito, Santa Barbara area, where there's like no paps at all because they like their privacy. Meghan's going to show us how to set up pap walks. Could it be? Because we'd all be like, yes, queen. And yes, Mindy, I agree. That would be the most glamorous moment of my life, too, because we finally have her admitting the truth. Not her truth, the truth, which the entire world seems to have picked up on. But no, it's about Meghan partnering as an influencer with some local florist warehouse, okay? And here she is with her expertise saying, I see what color I gravitate to, and everything goes from there. Well, gee, based off of Meghan's previous wardrobe decisions, I wonder what color that could be. What color palette is she going to gravitate towards and wow us with in this limited 6 to 8 series Netflix With Love Meghan? Oh, look. The blush, the beige, the neutrals. Who would have thought it? Yeah, it's the same ones that she chose from her garden in Netflix, yet I don't know. Somehow, I really, really, truly thought it would be a little bit different. But no, everything with Meghan is neutral. Here it was advertised that she was working with Florabundance. So that's who we know she is name dropping or giving a shout out to or giving a paid endorsement to or a partnership, something, because Meghan has elevated herself as an influencer for 2025. I mean, it's not like we haven't seen her do flowers before. It was advertised when somehow the uber private photos from her uber private, super elite, over the top, ridiculously expensive baby shower in New York City, where somebody paid for them to have professional floral design lessons, and then they all ended up donating the flowers to charity, because here's a picture of her with Serena Williams, the florist who's teaching them, and of course, Amal Clooney. But no, wait, there's more. We get to see Meghan putting fruit on top of a cake, because we haven't seen that before, right? It's starting to seem like all those professionally done behind the scenes surprise videos of her visiting some of these local charities was done specifically like a hype reel so she could sell this lifestyle marketing brand, my opinion, to people like Ted Sarandos. Because when she's at these events, when she was there before, it was all about her. Look at her happiness, her joy. I could not tell you any of the causes or the charities she's been at because it's all about her. But after doing research and finding this on the Sussex Royal account, I did see that this was when she was at Luminary Bakery back in November 2019. And I challenge you to go watch that video again, because you will see how perfectly orchestrated it was. The cameras were set up. You're really going to tell me it was a surprise visit when they claimed they needed all of that security and the cameras were set up, and she just so happened to walk in with her hair down, not pulled back, no gloves on, and started putting her fingers all over fruit for cake? Oh, look, she does it now, but if you notice, she adds the mint. Before it was just strawberries. No. Now we've elevated it to raspberries and mint. Wait a minute. This is a far cry, though, from that cake that was for Archie's first birthday. Now, I don't know if she made it The way she's selling this lifestyle brand, I would think she made this cake, wouldn't you? But that doesn't look a thing alike. Is that because she was missing some magic? Because this cake, by comparison, almost looks like the cake from Sleeping Beauty, where the fairy godmother, without any magic, was making that leaning, bleeding cake. Remember? I know what she can do. Let's get the magic back, Meghan. Let's go to godmothers. Oh my gosh, this is such a predictable show. Do we see where this is going? Because all last year when Godmothers opened, Meghan was with her friends, the godmothers, the people who opened the bookstore, the super ultra elusive membership bookstore, where she was seen not only there 2 nights in a row, giving a speech where Oprah sat in, where she awkwardly hugged Oprah, and then again was seen doing a pap walk where she was merching some sort of good vibes, keychain. Here she is with the people from Godmothers. I wonder if they're going to make an appearance on her show. Spoiler alert, it looks like they do. Pretty much all the people she's been papped with this past year seem to be making an appearance on the show. There she is with Tracy Robbins, whom she was seen in Jamaica. She's been friends a lot with Mindy Kaling. Mindy Kaling was on Archetypes with her, and Mindy Kaling also did some sort of video where she got some, not only did she get the jam, but she did some sort of basils or something, and she shouted on Instagram, "I feel like freaking Meghan Markle." Well, here's Meghan, and I'm telling you, we've seen all of this before, okay? She drip feeds the stuff, and by the time this comes out, we've seen it. We're bored. It's not that great. She hasn't done anything much, okay? So here she is with this style dress. Mindy, they've got this staged tea party and this, menagerie outside. And look, there's a whole bunch of balloons. This is what she does for her friends. This is how she should. We've seen how she treats family. I wouldn't want to be Meghan Markle's family, okay? Allegedly. But if you're going to be her friend and on her good side, yeah, girl, go throw me this party. I'll sit down and do an interview with you. We'll do a live. I'll show my face and everything. You can be on Dollface's channel. Because I'm noticing a trend here. You like to pamper the people who are elevating you because, you like to take the ordinary things and elevate them or elevate yourself by your connections. Here she is. She already made balloons. Guys, we saw this on Harry and Meghan. Okay? Here she is with the balloons again. This was all hype reel. Are we seeing it? It was all manufactured. It was all staged for what she wanted to put out there in hopes of booking another deal, in my opinion. Here's that same style dress that she was wearing. Delphina put it out. Yes, most glamorous moment of your life there, Mindy. Most glamorous moment. I'd have to disagree. I loved you on The Office. I've seen some other things you've done. You're more glamorous than you think. But then again, you weren't served cake like a duchess before. So we'll cut you some slack. Yes, Abigail Spencer makes an appearance. And here was Abigail Spencer when she received the American Riviera Orchard Jam. Again, green leaves and lemon make it everything. And in my opinion, it looks like it was filmed the same day that she was on the show, because here she is. It looks to be a similar dress and similar necklace. I could be wrong. But just as the strawberry jam was elevated by some green leaves, the most basic thing ever, strawberry jam, here's Meghan plating strawberries with regular ice cream, and then she adds mint. Ooh. So elevated. Yes, so worth $100 million offer. And it's not like we haven't seen Meghan discovering jam before in Malta, where she was paid to go, remember? No. Wherever did she get that idea from? Well, it's not only that she got the idea and possibly stole it, but she decided this is going to be her brand years ago, and she's sticking with it. All these times they're talking about rebranding. Rebranding is what? Because it's the same thing every time. They announce they're rebranding, but it's almost like a very toxic relationship with a bad boyfriend who says he's going to change and doesn't. Oh, I'm going to change. Oh, I'm going to rebrand. No, we've seen this all before. Nothing's different. In fact, it's so not different. A lot of the people she was papped with this past year are also going to be on the show. So I don't know what type of relationship they have. Kelly seems like a sweet girl. Her charity, Kelly's Life, and her friend that she's seen here with, she has her own charity. Their hashtag, their slogan is like a mother. They do stuff where they help women in foster care. Seems to be a really, really good charity. But again, why would we care that Meghan's having lunch with her and her friends and their deep, meaningful relationships? She's also from Soho House. We know how Soho House works. Here she is with Delphina. Okay, so I get it. The past 2-3 years where we've seen Harry at Santa Barbara Polo was not just for the polo show because they were hardly in it. It was to have her as a guest. Not to mention, Delphina has her own lifestyle brand, and Delphina does set the table for her friends over in the Hamptons and Nantucket. And if we were to go by our good, like really handsome, soothing voice, kind of, intoxicating favorite narcissist HD tutor, it would seem that Meghan is doing the character acquisition trait with being a P-wife or polo wife with Delphina, trying to come off as a model and trying to come off as somebody who can set tables, have her own brand, do paid partnerships, and be about setting a table. Here she is with Tracy Robbins. Tracy Robbins is the wife of the Paramount CEO. A lot of conspiracy theorists think she's being friends with Tracy because, if Netflix doesn't work out, well, hey, she may always have a home at Paramount, especially because Pearl, the cartoon, got canceled with Netflix. And I believe Brian here, Paramount has something to do with Nickelodeon where they have cartoons like SpongeBob. But look, in the past, Brian has said things like, hey, we're not going to be investing in new cartoons and children's programming. It's too expensive. We're sticking with what works. But she has been seen all over the place, really buddy-buddy with Tracy Robbins. Tracy, I believe, is a former model. She does have her own lifestyle brand, beautiful homes. I love watching the stuff she shares on Instagram. But here she is, being buddy-buddy with her because, it's just so cool, like a 90s model, to take off with your friends and go to Rome or go to Jamaica for some movie premiere in a ball gown. In fact, yep, spoiler alert, she does make it into the show. And typical Meghan, she's dancing. So if you were just dying to see when Meghan would finally be released and have her passport back so she could dance in the kitchen again, it's happened. Voila, happy. As I've said, Meghan's been doing this for years. Now, Meghan sometimes likes to come off as an expert, sit there with a microphone in hand and say, this is why we have to do it while offering no solutions. This is why you should offer this. You should always do a well-written letter. You should always do pretty calligraphy. And then yet at the same time, I'm noticing this you cannot miss pattern with Meghan where she likes to be a paid student. Meghan's not an expert in anything. Again, most of her recipes are simple or basic. We've seen all of this before back when she was on the TIG. She would interview, and look, it's smart, it's ambitious. I get it. It was great, except it didn't work then. And you're doing the same thing. What is it? 12, 15 years later? And after you were royal? Girl, you had the best education paid for by your father. You were a royal. This whole time, you've been working 1 hour a week for Archwell. You could have been taking other classes, really listen to PR brand people about different things to do. But in my opinion, it seems Meghan Markle only wanted to find some sort of guarantor, some sort of benefactor who would pay to give her a platform and pay her to be a professional student where she gets to do her signature cutesy. Oh my God, I did it. I can't believe it. Yay. I'm a 1-year-old taking steps for the first time. Clap for me. Clap for me. Oh, I'm so humbled. Here's my Julia Roberts laugh. Here she was learning how to be a gourmet barista, and she's learning how to do the really, really cool, foam decor on top. Here she is. Oh, look, she made a heart. It's so amazing. It's magic. She did Power Lunch with Meghan Markle. That was presented by Lexus, but it was also by one of the producers from Suits. Whereas you could see in one of the videos, I think they were at the 21 Club, where they mentioned what good friends they were and how they also shared another friend. So not only was he a producer of the show, but he was friends with the creator of Suits. Meghan would go around learning how to make a niçoise salad, ramen, things like that were really a power lunch, because as an actress on the go, she rarely gets a chance to sit down and enjoy a meal. So here she was, but instead of it being more about like okay, this is amazing, this is fascinating, I know the history, she sat down and was making it more about attention on her, because one of the things she mentions in the ramen thing is, so I understand it, and you could tell this is probably what she uses when she charms people, in my opinion. Oh, I'm so helpless. Oh, look at me. Blah, 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 blah. Am I doing it right? Yay, yay. Oh, she's so cute and little. So here she is sitting down going, so I understand it's all about the slurp, right? You got to get the slurp right, because that's what I think about when I think of ramen. Am I slurping right? So here she is really making the moment about herself, trying to show off her personality. She starts to slurp. She looks up, makes eye contact, trying to create a moment, because that's what it's all about, creating moments of wonder. Being a little bit goofy, Wonder where we're going to see that again. But it's okay. She nails it. She does a seal clap. And hands in the air, we're going to the Super Bowl for ramen. Here she was, again, at Luminary Bakery. Now, guys, do some more research into this. This was back when she was a working royal. And like everything else, she made the moment about her. This is not about the women. This is not about their story. She could have edited it in such a way where it was about the women talking, where she's doing the interviewing. Instead, it was about her. In my opinion, the stuff that's on Sussex Royal after they were able to take it over, as well as a few other projects, was designed, produced, director of photography by Meghan, because Meghan was using this as hype reels to show, hey, this is why you need to give me my own show. And we're going to see that, I think, in these 6 or 8 episodes of this new Netflix series. Here she was at Luminary Bakery. Luminary Bakery was really offering a supportive and affordable way for these women who weren't royals, who didn't have access to $500,000 showers and everything else, to really make something pretty. I don't know all the ins and outs, but these are women who, are not these power players of Hollywood. They're not, people who have $1 million a year wardrobes. And she's here cutting the cake. They're all clapping for her. Again, like a toddler learning how to walk for the first time, or, putting her toys back. And, I'm so humbled. Shoulders forward. I can't believe it. My Julia Roberts laugh. And yes, seal clap, yay me. Once Meghan likes something and she has an idea about how she wants the world to notice her when she makes it big, she sticks with it. This is a picture of her in this gown. This was years ago. She did a professional photo. She was also, I believe, wore this to some sort of charity event, or it was an awards ceremony. And here she is, pretty much same look in the cut. Again, 2022. In my opinion, Meghan believes she's worthy of being an A-lister with endless press. Remember where we read that before? Wink, wink, nudge, nudge on the TIG. The problem is nobody's noticed her because she didn't have the right connections. And all we hear about her connections, be it the wife of a prince, or, the daughter-in-law of a king, or the friend of a Hollywood producer. You get the point here. I guess she is celebrating all of her friend connections because it's how she got where she is, in my opinion. So again, we're going to see where she comes off as kind of an expert, where she's like, look, you can take the ordinary things and make it extraordinary because it's magic. You could do it too. And let's not forget, she said this in the Good Housekeeping. She did it in a bunch of other interviews as well, where she said there's nothing that is a better gift to a hostess, meaning she's not the host, she's a guest, than a perfectly roasted chicken. Well, no. Just like she upstaged Eugenie at her wedding by announcing she was pregnant, you don't bring a main dish like a roasted chicken when you're a guest at somebody else's house. They're the hostess. They get the attention. They get the star treatment, okay? You are a guest. And not to mention, at the time, she was dating Chef Corey Vitiello. Now, Corey I think he had the Harvard room, where a lot of Meghan Markle's posts were something about French fries a couple of times. And then she even interviewed him on the TIG because nobody knew that they were dating. But Corey opened up his own restaurant called The Flock, or Eat Flock, something like that, where it was all about, you guessed it, the perfect roasted chicken. Here we see Meghan going back to the whole being a newbie, being a student, not being an expert in anything, which is a very smart move if you just want to be famous and you want people to stop talking about how you don't have any talent or a PhD in anything, or you're not an expert in anything, right? I think it's a beautiful plan. But again, in my opinion, she was looking for a benefactor to pay for her to have a platform, to get publicity, to learn or show off that she's not so great, and that's okay. She still deserves to be famous. Here she is trying to plate something on Netflix, and it doesn't exactly make the plate. Everybody saw how Catherine did a photo shoot and was letting everybody see how she raises bees and gets her own honey. And earlier this year, whenever Meghan launched American Riviera Orchard, somehow, some way, it came up that she ripped off Flamingo Estate. Now, Flamingo Estate, as a reminder, is one of those, for lack of a better term, super posh flea markets where the celebrities have their own cookware, their own really, really expensive, like $30,000 a jar honey, where they sell things there, and the uber rich and super powerful can buy it. Allegedly, Meghan was turned down when she tried to partner with them, and so she launched her own, which is where American Riviera Orchard came from. And here she is. Can't say that she has her own bees on her estate, but in my opinion, it looks like she visits somebody who does have, that is a beekeeper, and she's sitting here with that same wonder of, oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm doing this. It's all about getting back to basics and the simple joy, which was a huge hint she dropped in the chicken coop in the Oprah interview. She's taught us how to elevate shrimp before by grilling lettuce. Oh, how to do simple things, just elevating it. And here she is showing off that she made a ladybug caprese, because as a mother with children, you have to make it a little fun. Spoiler alert, she didn't create this recipe. It's been around for a while. And if somebody out there can find a cover of Woman's Day magazine where this was on it, this just seems like something I saw back in 2012. I could be wrong, but I know it's been out there for a while. She did not create this. In fact, this whole thing about, sharing meals with friends, when I say she's been wanting to do this for a while, I mean, this was always her angle, in my opinion. Here she is with a friend who had made some great Indian food, but usually a lot of the posts were about other people cooking. It was not her. She's got one with Gina Torres. Gina Torres was the one who told her, leave some room for magic. And magic all throughout this entire thing, right? Here she was sharing one of her first recipes, and I have to say, yes, we get you were a child when you wrote this, Meghan, but look at all your recipes and the stuff you've come out with now years later after a college degree and the best of the best and dating chefs. I don't see where your own recipes and cooking have really changed much, right? And it's really funny. They were on Harry and Meghan, and even in Harry's book, Spare, saying how Meghan's just a hugger. She walks around the home barefoot. And they even showed this picture implying that this was somehow in her and Harry's cottage, which was on royal grounds. No, here she is being barefoot, allegedly, and, just making fish, cutting them, stuffing them herself back in 2013. It's a far cry from the $8 million home she rented for this new lifestyle series. Talking about repeating things, she shared a recipe for life-changing bread back on the TIG way back in the day. And here she is, all of her girlfriends getting their fingers in it, really just having fun connecting. Yay, womanhood. Yay, empowerment. Women, as a woman, as a mother with children. Let's do this because it's for us, because we deserve it. And we've seen all throughout the year where she's been really promoting her being a cook with this certain new lifestyle hair. I can't explain it, this new hair she's doing. But here she is doing her glammed up good service in the kitchen, somebody else's kitchen. But this time with an Archwell apron that they might start selling. We're going to see this hairstyle, the tendrils in the face, her cooking, her head down, her laughing. We've seen this all before. Speaking of all the things that she's sharing in this new Netflix, even in the trailer alone, what you can see, these were things she shared on the TIG before. Over planning kills magic. Again, with the magic. Being yourself is the prettiest thing a person could be. Travel often. Oh, well, we've seen that between Colombia and Whistler. And, we've seen all that this year, haven't we, Nigerian princess? Of this, be sure, do not find the happy life, you make it. It's all about the simple joys. These were things she shared in the TIG. Now, the difference is she has a streaming platform paying her to do it, and she's got the attention of the public and the mainstream media in America because she's not a number 6 on a cable TV show filmed in Canada. In fact, this is just stage clutter, guys. We've seen all of this. We've seen this dress. We mentioned it. Yes, I get from Mindy the idea, the novelty. I think that was the only selling point that they had here in America was the novelty of, wow, Princess Diana's son in line, of the King of England, her having a title. They had a novelty in which they could have cashed in. Meghan has not changed. This has all been done by Meghan before. The only difference is she's getting paid to do it, which, as we all know from what she allegedly said in Australia, where she couldn't believe she wasn't getting paid to be at, on a royal tour, she's got somebody who bankrolled it this time. And a lot of people, gosh, you cannot ignore these things, have pointed out how it looks like Meghan is copying the Marchioness of Bath. Or I always say that differently just from all the Jane Austen movies I watch. I always say Bath. So the Lady of Bath, Emma here, she's really, really beautiful. So she's like a ballerina, right? She's delicate. She's got poise. She's got grace. The way she does everything. I mean, it looks like Meghan was counting on the fact that nobody had ever seen these things. And since she's in America, she's an American in America, it's okay to just rip these off, because so many people have noticed how similar a lot of the things Meghan has done are to this beautiful royal who happens to be, she's a woman of color with roots to Nigeria. I mean, is Meghan ripping her off and then she's just thinking, hey, I'm in America, I can sell it here? Because it is kind of weird, all the similarities between them. This show is to create wonder. Yes, well, you did that, Meghan. You've created wonder about everything. Right now, you've got the mainstream media wondering if you ever birthed those children, or if you had a surrogate. You've got the entire mainstream media wondering why Ted Sarandos ever gave you and Harry this deal with Netflix. Don't worry, Ted, I've got your back. In case you haven't noticed, I elevated your picture here, man. So if you need some independent research done, give me a call. I'll keep it a secret. I don't need the PR for it. People, yes, we do see that Harry is making some sort of cameo here, just like he made a cameo in Polo. All that PR leaked about it, and then he's barely in it for like 2 minutes. Here he is being so supportive and her doing her signature hug. No word yet on whether or not Harry is going to make any other appearances in the series. We do know that he has juggled his balls before in certain projects of Meghan, but probably not this time. And again, this is not the first time Meghan is playing, your Royal Highness, or, she's taking she's doing the same thing over and over again, and it's just take two. In my opinion, this entire thing is just Meghan launches her lifestyle brand where it's going to be the exact same thing she always wanted. Take 2, take 30, take 99, because she's going to get it across in her mind to everyone in the world that she is so wonderful, except the things that she picked out back in the early 2000s to 2016, because it's going to work. She just did not have the elevated platform to do it. Now she does. It went from being on nobody bloggers to the TIG, to being associated with Harry, to showing off her skills when she was supposed to be doing charity work, to now being paid by Netflix to do the same thing she's always done. So as you can see, once playing Royal Highness, always playing your Royal Highness. Only this time she has elevated it with more green leaves. So, all right, guys, this has been my explanation of how Meghan has not changed at all. And we're going to see that in this new Netflix series. It's the same thing she's always done. And as always, with love, it's me. And for anybody out there who has a problem or, feels that I'm picking on Meghan and tries to take me down, here's my disclaimer. Should have put it in the beginning. Putting it here. So talk to you soon. Bye.